wanted to take a deep breath before I did this. You know, I'm sure a lot of us are seeing, if you're just kind of looking around on the internet and all the changes in the world, there seems to be this new modern day use of the word awareness. You know, this great new awareness is coming upon really mostly boomers, Gen Xers, and maybe some of the later millennials. And that awareness seemingly coming from, the fact that we have such access. And because a lot of us, let's just say from 40 years plus, we're entrenched in a belief system of, if you work hard, things pay off this way. If you're a good person, things go this way. If you're spiritually in tune, with a religion or something, there should be, these results that we all work for. The success could be spiritual, it could be financial, it could be, look at what I've done with my life, right? Kind of a thing. And lately I've been seeing on the internet all these other people talking about awareness and how it's making people sad, lonely. They feel like they've missed out a lot in their life. And, there's some of that I really can truly understand, that a lot of people are going through a sort of grief therapy, if you would, or maybe need grief therapy, but they're going through some kind of grief, a sense of loss. And, this is because of that access of information. When we look at how we lived our lives as older folks, and then you turn around and you start doing research, or because we have such access to information, we get flooded with controversial responses to things, contrarian vibes about God, money, how this world really works, the illusion that we were under. Like I said earlier, if you work hard and do well and you're respectful and you're a good person, your life should be rewarded this way. And before the internet, a lot of the success or lack of success of that particular narrative was funneled into something very small. Magazines, newspapers, you barely hear about it. Now, because everybody has an opinion, and we also have access to a lot of people who have great opinions, and then we take our wisdom as older people and suss through those opinions, there is, I think, kind of a great modern day awareness that's going on right now. And I think, like I said earlier, the sadness or the loneliness or the pain of it is kind of a grief if you're in that space of losing what you thought was your zip line, your dividing rod of your existence, of living my life a certain way, and then all of a sudden, oh my God, the world doesn't work that way. Or my spiritual belief and its biting book of religion is not yielding what I thought. I bought into all of this, and now I realized, but I do have something I want to say about that. I think, and this is my way of being as a powerful, did I say that? That just leaked out. Powerfully positive individual, sometimes to a fault. I'm not naive, trust me. Is, I think, part of that hollowness and sadness and heaviness is also coming from the fact that maybe you feel like you were sold a cat, and this cat, you take care of the cat, you feed it, you have it all, this is what it is. And then you realize after this awareness, what you really have is a dragon. I use dragon as a metaphor because it's an unwielding beast, and it could be terrifying, but it could also be very empowering. And now we've been minding our way with the cat, and then you realize what you've been given was a leash to the cat narrative. Now, with your awareness going through, some of that heaviness is going, oh my God, I am so powerfully feeling freed of a lot of things. Because a lot of that freeing actually comes from the intuition, I find. The intuition that you felt, no matter what was happening, something was off, but you were right. Your intuition was telling you through all these years there's something not right. Now you're validated. So I understand people who are sitting and feeling like they don't want to go into public, they don't want to engage. They don't want to create. They don't want to be a part of this world, maybe in certain ways. But the truth be told is that, in my opinion, this awareness is a unleashing of everything that you really wanted to flourish with and flourish about as a human being, without the constraints of the narrative we had in the past. So even if you're 50, 60, and you're going through this awareness, you now have the power to take everything and all that wisdom, and from this moment on, the decisions that you make moving forward. If you decide you don't want to be with people, if you decide you want to feel lonely or feel sadness, that's part of what the dragon brings out. Not the sadness and the loneliness, but the fact is, the biggest word that I used there in my opinion was, if you decide that you want to feel loneliness or sadness. That's actually part of the pre-narrative. You know, pre-narrative, get people to think this way. Narrative, get people to think this way. Now, in a post-narrative, the dragon, you actually have the power to dictate whether you not want to be sad, whether or not you want to be alone. You know? Sounded like some pretty odd riffing there, but I don't know, I just felt like today was the day I wanted to throw down that stream of consciousness. I just was, for a week, thinking about this, and when am I going to put it on, you know, on YouTube or something, and get it out there. And part of my awakening is to stop second guessing myself for fear of how people may respond, whether it be my neighbor to something I said, or people on YouTube, or where it is that I, you know, do my nonprofit work at. I've really become so much more freer with my version of awareness, because not everybody's awareness journey is the same. For me, the awareness is, I know I've been the nomad my whole life, and I took a lot of heat from it in the older contemporary way, that you're not doing the right things. You should be already owning a home and have a family and all this. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not feeling it. So I'm going to go my way. And sometimes I think about it, you know, did I make a mistake or anything? But, you know, I don't think I made a mistake. But my awareness actually comes from the validation that I have, which is a very unique vibe, that as I'm closer to the end of my life than I was at the beginning or even the middle of my life now, that I potentially, possibly did it right for me, for my desires, for my thought bubbles of what is success, you know. So anyhow, thanks for hanging out. I was just kind of riffing away, a little stream of consciousness, and you know, if you care to share your thoughts, do so down below. Don't subscribe, don't like. I'm just saying. Remember, count the wins. As small as they are every day, they stack up, and you can see over the BS of life. Take care. All right.